Why does NATO still expand decades after the Soviet Union collapsed? Why do nuclear weapons remain central to security strategy? And why does rivalry between great powers today resemble patterns from the mid-20th century? To understand modern geopolitics, you must understand the Cold War. It was not just a historical conflict between the United States and the Soviet Union. It reshaped the structure of the global order in ways that still influence policy decisions today. After World War II, the international system shifted into bipolarity. Two superpowers emerged with competing ideologies: liberal capitalism led by the United States and communism led by the Soviet Union. Unlike previous multipolar systems, power was concentrated in two dominant actors. This bipolar structure defined alliances, economic systems, and military strategy for nearly half a century. NATO formed in 1949 as a collective defense alliance, while the Warsaw Pact unified Soviet-aligned states. The world became divided into competing blocs. Nuclear deterrence became the central stabilizing mechanism. The logic of mutually assured destruction meant that direct war between the superpowers would be catastrophic. The Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962 demonstrated how close escalation could come to global disaster and how deterrence forced restraint. Instead of direct confrontation, the Cold War unfolded through proxy wars in Korea, Vietnam, Afghanistan, and parts of Africa and Latin America. These conflicts illustrated how ideological rivalry shaped regional instability without triggering full-scale superpower war. The Cold War also structured global institutions and economic systems. The United States promoted institutions like the IMF and World Bank to support market economies, while the Soviet Union maintained centralized economic planning within its sphere. The arms race fueled technological innovation, from space exploration to early computing systems. Even today's defense spending patterns and nuclear non-proliferation treaties trace their origins to Cold War dynamics. The Non-Proliferation Treaty emerged to prevent the spread of nuclear weapons beyond the original powers. When the Soviet Union collapsed in 1991, the bipolar system ended, and the United States entered a period of unipolar dominance. NATO expanded eastward, integrating former Warsaw Pact states. However, this expansion later became a source of tension with Russia, contributing to renewed rivalry. The rise of China has introduced a new dimension, with some analysts describing the current environment as a new Cold War. While ideological confrontation is less pronounced, strategic competition over technology, trade, and military influence echoes earlier patterns. The Cold War's legacy remains embedded in modern global order: alliance structures, nuclear deterrence doctrines, intelligence networks, and geopolitical fault lines. It demonstrated how system polarity shapes stability and conflict. Understanding the Cold War explains why deterrence remains central, why alliances matter, and why power transitions create anxiety. And now that you see how bipolar rivalry shaped the contemporary world, the next step is to examine how emerging great power competition, especially between the United States and China, is reshaping the balance of power in the 21st century.